Yeah, that's the most disappointing part, I think, just to, have a first half where we really looked after the ball. We were really careful. We were really solid. We did some really good things, both offensively and defensively, and I think that, 37 points that they got off of turnovers, it's hard to have a defensive game plan for that. They were very opportunistic for that, so I have to tip my hat off to them because that was one way that they could get back into the game, and that's how they did, and I don't think we adjusted to that. I don't think we got back being off our back foot and really taking care of the ball from our point guard to our posts to our wings. We just I think we adopted a style that we're just going to try not to lose this one, rather to win it, and that will really hurt you, as it did.
What did they do to pressure you more than the second?
I think they just stepped up. I think they stepped up into passing lanes. I think they put a little bit more pressure on Tamika. I think they did what any normal team would do, being down 16 or 18 points, that you're down. You have to make an adjustment, and I think our team knew that, but we weren't ready for it because they went on an incredible run, and they took the momentum, and we were never able to wrestle it back because we did get on our back foot, and I think we got a little bit panicked and a little bit scared, and everybody started tightening up, and that's what happens when you don't play aggressively.
When you lose a lead like that, Bev, are you sort of pleased in your team that you get to play again in a few days and get back down?
Yeah, I think that obviously, any good team, and I think Oregon State, does things very well, and they've got a scorer who can score, is going to make a comeback. And so I thought we just got, we didn't come up with the intensity that we needed, but when they did make that run, we just didn't get refocused. And that's going to have to be what we're going to look for because, obviously leaving here, Oregon State's going to have the momentum. And, momentum is huge, and you've got to wrestle that back, and you've got to wrestle that back. Starting in practice, just realizing that you're in control of handling the ball, and you're in control of what you do with the ball, and we have to be able to do that in order to take away what they did to us tonight, and that's just plain and simple. Not easy, but simple.
There were a lot. Obviously they stepped up the pressure, but there were a lot of turnovers that were kind of enforced, right?
Absolutely, and that's the most frustrating part. We just were not really aggressive. We didn't have that killer instinct. We thought we had time. We thought we had score, and time isn't on your side. Particularly if a team is aggressive, and calling timeouts, trying to get them to focus on fundamentals. Maybe we're a little bit in shock. I don't know. There just didn't seem to be, that kind of refocus and recommitment to little things. And we did throw the ball away. It's not any disrespect to Oregon State, but I thought we were very, very careless with just simple things and not cutting hard to the ball and going to put a nail in the coffin and really bury them.
It was like, how do you think Lily played? And she seemed to be kind of the one player who kept trying to win it as opposed to...
Yeah, I think Taylor's got an incredible competitive edge. She's, she understands what it takes, and I think she's one of the young ladies on our team that, puts a ton of time into the game of basketball. And when you the more time you put in, the harder it is to surrender, and you have that competitive edge. And she really did try to keep us going and have that fire. Unfortunately, we need 4 others that go along with her.
What's her leg situation?
Her leg situation is that she has a very, 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 very early stress fracture, just a hot spot. And so we can look to manage her time and manage her playing throughout this. And in her, I believe it's her right leg and in her fibula, non-weight-bearing bone, which is the reason why she's able to manage it with that.
Is she in pain tonight?
I think she's always in pain. It's just up to her to really try and manage that, and she lets us know when she's good and when she's not good. But she's a tough young lady and a tough cookie, and we need to follow her example.
Nash was 11 of 24 against 27. What did you think about the job?
Well, I thought that we lost her at times, particularly in the zone. They started setting a little down screen that we got caught up in, and she's pretty good at just just catching the ball and shooting, so we tried to prevent that. But I think we let her go a lot to her strong right shoulder and shoot over the top, and you have to play true to a defensive scout. But having said that, I mean, the 27 points that she gets is nothing in comparison to the 37 that they get off of turnovers, and that unfortunately is something that you really are going to kick yourself about because you need to control that.
What's the frame of mind of your ladies right now?
It's a good question. That's a real good question. This is a tough one to swallow. It's a hard one to swallow. I know they're disappointed. However, the call of the basketball game is for 40 minutes, and I thought we relaxed at halftime, and just didn't come out with that intensity that we needed to really take this game home. And a civil war is always going to be competitive right down to the bitter end. I know they're disappointed, but I also know that they have to bring some answers to the table in terms of what were they feeling, what were they doing, and how they, what do they need to make sure that that doesn't happen again. So I think it's going to take a night of reflection on all of our parts to really let this sink to the bottom, and then as it bounces back up, I'm sure some salient things will come up. However, this team still has their destiny in their hands, but they have to make sure they're hanging on to it as tight as they can right now.
What did you tell them after the ball game?
I didn't really have a lot to say because I think it was left unsaid on the floor, and I want them to say that at Oregon State. But I think we just did not respect the game of basketball for 40 minutes and playing hard. And I think we let a lot of fans down, 4,000 people that came out and just really were ready to help this team in any way possible. And we've got to give them some help. We've got to help ourselves before they can help us. And it was a great crowd, a great environment, just a great college basketball game. And I think we didn't rise up to the occasion in terms of just playing for a hard 20 minutes with passion and pride.
I mean, as tough as things have been with injury and the stretch of games you've been through, you expect more from this group than this?
Absolutely, because this group is capable of. I've seen this group be capable, and I know that they're capable. But you have to answer the call, you have to answer the bell, you have to answer those tough times, and they are a capable group when they play together for 40 minutes and when they hang tough for 40 minutes, and we haven't yet done that. And I think they're capable. I know they're capable of it. They just have to realize that and grasp onto it and help each other get it done. Well, yeah, that's always a possibility and a thought that I have in terms of trying to give her a blow and get her out of the game and get her a little bit settled. I don't know if it was just wearing down or she got a little bit on her back foot. They played pretty much the whole first half without Fox Griffith, and that's a different element to their game that we probably didn't pay enough attention to as we were in the locker room. Tried to reinforce that, but that's a consideration.